downtown Minneapolis for the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers. Rick Fox, Mark Madsen, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and Derek Fisher. Fisher was on fire on Sunday. For the Timberwolves, Wally Szczerbiak, Kevin Garnett, Washo Nesterovic, Anthony Peeler, and Troy Hudson. Shaq had 32 points, 20 of which he authored in the second half on Sunday. Kevin Garnett, 23 points, 14 rebounds on Sunday. But Kobe Bryant was spectacular with his 39 points, 28 in the first half. Wally Szczerbiak needs to give more on the offensive side. Just 15 points, and he is averaging almost 18 a game. Our officials tonight, Jack Neese, Scott Foster, and Tom Washington. Timberwolves winning the opening tap, and here comes Wally Szczerbiak. They went with the tall lineup, Danny, on Sunday. Tonight they go shorter. And this is how they played most of the year, so I'm not surprised they came back with this. Plus, Joe Smith's not 100%, so they'll probably play him against the second unit.
Well, the Lakers are really putting good pressure on them.
That is Minnesota's first lead in a playoff game at home since 2001, and obviously their first lead of this series.
You must not have had anything else to do in your room to come up with that stat.
Here comes Kobe Bryant working on Anthony Peeler. It's a Kevin Garnett rebound.
Oh, this crowd is unbelievable before the opening tip even. You can just see that both these teams are ready to play.
Hudson to Nesterovic.
What Hudson did was great. He made Shaq come up to claim him, and then he got Nesterovic open. And that's what you got to do. You've got to get in that lane and make Shaq play.
Madsen from O'Neal. And here comes Shaq back inside, trying to grind. No call made. Madsen has it. And a fresh shot clock with Garnett on the perimeter and defending, and a whistle and a foul.
Well, that's where, they come out with energy, and Kevin Garnett took a lot of responsibility for game one, that they came out so passive and scared on the defensive end. But that's a silly foul to Kevin foul Mark Madsen 25 feet away from the basket.
Garnett has his first foul.
Well, the key is whether they can sustain it. It's always good for the crowd to pump a team up like this, but the Timberwolves have to sustain this for the whole game.
Kevin Garnett has his second rebound on the Madsen miss, and here comes Troy Hudson with a nifty move to get 3 for 2. The Minnesota Timberwolves have started 3 of 3 from the field.
I love the way Peeler's pressuring Kobe. I mean, that's going to take its toll the entire game. But I'll tell you one way, Coach, to be able to sustain it is if they continue to make these shots. 3 for 3 from the field. Garnett, Nesterovic, and now Troy Hudson coming down in transition. Again, forcing the tempo. Shaq down in the paint, back in transition. He will not come up and help on those screens.
And you've got to make shots in order to go out and press. And you're absolutely correct. If they are hitting, they can apply pressure to the Lakers.
Rick Fox feeding O'Neal into Nesterovic. Los Angeles has started all 5. And that Hudson pass is ricocheted into the crowd. As you take a look at Flip Saunders in his 8th year, former college teammate of Kevin McHale's at the University of Minnesota. A guy who has taken this franchise to 7 consecutive playoff appearances.
That's a great accomplishment. For the talent pool that they've had, that's a great accomplishment. There's a lot of talk that they haven't gotten past the first round. But, Coach, I think this is a team that should be relaxed and loose just at the fact that they're playing the Lakers. Nobody on earth thinks that they have a chance in this series, and so they got nothing to lose.
Well, that's absolutely correct, and I think that they're playing in that manner. And right now, I hope they can sustain it, though.
Another Los Angeles turnover. 4-on-2. Hudson takes it himself. At the other end, Shaq, who never bothered to get back on defense, and that's his answer at the other end.
Watch your head.
Yep, cover your head. Cover your head.
Well, that's important. The last guy back in transition, especially when they're going straight to the basket, has to stop.
The Timberwolves are 5 of 6, and Hudson has 6 of Minnesota's 10. This is the way the Lakers began the other afternoon.
Absolutely, and the Lakers are a little frazzled, playing a little bit of one-on-one, like Coach said. Handle the ball and pressure him out there. Double team on Kobe. That still can't stop Kobe. Wow.
Bryant is whacked and a foul called on the Timberwolves. And it goes on Serbiak.
Well, Fox has the assignment of playing against Serbiak, and you want to frustrate Wally and make him play defense. Trying to get him in foul trouble is one way, but Shaq cherry picking at the other end. Coach doesn't run back, and he gets rewarded.
Well, and it's really interesting, too, because the Timberwolves are now, as a result of scoring, putting a lot of pressure on the ball. But with a guy like Kobe, even with the pressure, he shows his outstanding ability to be able to still score under pressure.
Here's Hudson again. Into Fisher. Fisher down the lane with the rebound by Derek Fisher of Los Angeles. He'll race the other way. And there's Rick Fox, who had a good game one on Sunday. Fox had 10 points and hit 3 three-point shots.
A lot more pressure is being applied to the ball in this game than they did before. They let the Lakers run their offense with no pressure and let them make easy passes.
Bryant with the miss. Shaq is right there. Shot clock at 1. Minnesota has it. Peeler, Serbia into Fox.
That's huge right there. That helps Wally so much. You know, he relies on 20% of his offense coming in transition, and he's got to get some of those easy baskets because Fisher is all over him in the half court.
Lakers are 2 of 8 to start the game. Minnesota 6 of 8 from the field.
I'm sorry, Fox is all over him.
Kobe Bryant. Maxson with the rebound, jousting the Serbiak, a 3, making it 2 by Fisher. He had 1 foot just inside the arc.
Well, see, and that's an example of trying to shade towards Kobe or go towards Shaq. The key for the Timberwolves is what they do after they give the help. They've got to return very quickly because you can't have those role guys like Fisher and Fox and those guys getting easy shots like they did last game.
It's Serbiak. Los Angeles is -2 in rebounding so far.
And that's a tough shot. That looked like he was a little bit tired on that shot, and it was great defense by Rick Fox.
Fox. Garnett comes out on the edge to guard him. Minnesota's led by 8. Lakers have never led. Art Maxson, who's already grabbed 3 offensive rebounds. Shaq couldn't find the handle. And Minnesota the other way.
Couldn't find the handle, but the bad thing is he had the inside position. They've got to touch him and get him out of there.
Kevin Garnett.
Oh, the thing I love most, first the defensive pressure the coaches brought up, and second, I love how they're forcing the tempo. They're running quick pick and rolls, but they're in a hurry to get them up the court before the Lakers have a chance to set their half-court defense. After awesome in game 1.
And here comes Serbiak. Lost it. Maxson comes up with it. Lead to Fisher. 2-on-1 with Kobe. And buckle up for Kobe Bryant.
Well, in that possession, the Timberwolves were a little slow in coming back. Somebody's got to get back real quick. They've got to sustain this. They better hope that their pace does not wear them down.
You see, I think I'm Peeler right there. If I'm guarding Kobe Bryant, knowing Kobe Bryant, like Wally Serbiak, is a thirsty scorer, too. I'm faking. I'm making Fisher make the basket and not letting Kobe have a dunk.
Troy Hudson again connects from outside. He's got 8 points. He has started the game 4 of 5. Neither team has thrown up a 3-point shot yet.
And Troy has a scorer's mentality as well. When he comes out there, it's hard to get everybody involved. Peeler's so intense on playing defense, he's not going to get very many shots.
Maxson, Fisher rotating to Fox. Saves it from going out of bounds. Shot clock at 4. And Fisher with the game's first 3. Rebound by Hudson. Here comes Minnesota again with a 3-on-3.
Better possession for the Timberwolves. They supported and came back.
That is a 2 by Serbia.
They love this kind of tempo, though, and the crowd is into it. In this kind of game, the crowd really gets into this kind of tempo. And the Lakers, you can see, now they're starting to slow it down, but they were trying to play at this tempo, which is not what they like.
Fisher again. Kevin Garnett brings down his 4th rebound of the game. Peeler the other way. Screen by Nesterovic. I don't blame you. It's time to catch your breath. Can Minnesota keep up this tempo?
Well, that's the key thing. They've got to definitely be able to pressure because you want to keep the Lakers running. The Lakers want to play in a half-court game. What the Timberwolves want is an open-court game. They want to get up and down the floor. You also want to run the Lakers because that'll help your defensive side of the ball. If Shaq gets tired, he's not going to have as much energy at the offensive end.
The Timberwolves have their biggest lead. 18-9 over the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers.
Keep asking, can they keep up this tempo? I'm not sure they can, but it's important, as we see with Wally Serbiak. Open court, 17% of his offense. On spot-ups, 32%. And those are the two things that he's most efficient at. Fox is not going to try to get him very many spot-ups. They're not going to try to get him shots in transition. So they're going to try to make him screens and ISO where he's less efficient and make him take tough shots. Great defense by Fox. But if he gets in transition, Fox could be in for a long night.
But I think Fox is going to touch him a lot, too. He's going to beat on him a little bit out here.
Here's Kevin Garnett over Shaquille O'Neal. Rebound by Bryant. Neither team makes a change on the floor after that timeout. Minnesota with their biggest lead. Los Angeles has never led. We're approaching 5 to play here in the first quarter. So far, 4 points by Garnett and Serbiak, but 8 by Troy Hudson is the game high for Minnesota. Out of bounds. And 9 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, in that time, the Timberwolves were trapping Kobe, but they also are putting a lot more pressure on him. They played too tentative the first game, and the Lakers were able to run their offense with too much comfort. This game so far, they've put a lot more pressure and intensity into their defense.
And a lot of it is because they're quicker, Coach, too. You know, with Joe Smith out of the lineup and Serbiak trying to defend Kobe, Peeler's so much quicker.
That's going to count as Bryant gives a deceptive move, which Peeler bought. And 7 now for Kobe as a Laker high. He'll be at the line.
That's like the ultimate compliment when you make a shot like that and the crowd boos you. Doesn't the crowd know that that boo just gets him more fired up? It's the greatest feeling in all of sports. More so than even hitting a shot on your home court, getting the crowd out of your seats is quieting the visiting crowd. It's the greatest feeling in all sports.
Garnett's got 5 rebounds. Timberwolves by 7. Here comes Hudson.
Fox is really doing a good job of trying to keep the ball out of Serbiak's hand.
It's Garnett with the shot clock down to 7. Hudson again. He's had a spectacular night shooting, and it continues that way as he nails Minnesota's first 3-point shot tonight. He's got 11, and Minnesota's got their biggest lead.
You know, Hudson is an excellent scorer, and that's probably the strength of his game. You know, but what I like tonight is he's also creating. He's got some easy baskets for his opponents in transition.
Shaq is fouled as he now has 4. And he'll be at the free throw line. Nesterovic picks up his first.
Well, and this is the thing I wanted to see. Flip Saunders is telling them to go get him after every shot, but pressure up there, make them have a difficult time running their offense, rotate, be ready to help and support, but return very quickly for the open shooters.
Shaq, a career high 62% from the free throw line this season. Completes the 3-point play with about 4.5 to play in the first quarter.
It'll be interesting to see if Troy Hudson can keep playing full court defense, scoring, penetrating, getting shots for his teammates, doing all the things that he's doing. He's expending a ton of energy out there.
Lakers from the free throw line so far 2 of 3. Minnesota has not been to the stripe as of yet.
Well, the one thing that the Lakers are doing also well, we're talking about the defense of the T-Wolves. The Lakers do a very good job defensively, but they have a stopper in Shaq in the back.
And Kevin Garnett has 6 points and 5 rebounds in 8 minutes.
The difficult thing is the fact that the Lakers can always be bailed out by Shaq or Kobe, regardless of what you do. You see the double team right here to force Kobe to pass it.
It's Fox for 3. And Rick Fox nails his first shot of the game.
And the Lakers seem poised. I mean, there was a little bit of a rattle the first couple minutes. They got into a little bit of a frenzy. But after the timeout, they're coming out. They're not panicked at all. And Minnesota still, I mean, they're playing with so much passion and energy right now.
Little hand check on Nance, and he picks up his first.
And this is a big adjustment. Look at that. They leave Shaq to come out and double-team Kobe at the hash mark. Is Kobe earning the respect around this league or what? But Fox makes him pay with the double teams, like a zone defense.
But that 3-point shooting by Fisher and Fox guys on Sunday was unimaginable. I mean, they were just so hot that they do it 2 nights in a row.
Well, they're not going to be able to do it with this kind of pressure on them. But you've got to be careful that you sustain it. Everybody starts off with a lot of energy early in the game, but you got to keep doing it.
Madsen just picked up his 2nd foul. Greg Sager, what do you have?
Well, the Minnesota Timberwolves watched tape of Sunday's game yesterday at practice breakdowns, but surprisingly what they saw was a tape of the Minnesota Timberwolves winning by 16. The coaching staff had to put a positive influence on the game, get this team to believe they can beat LA. They edited a tape that showed the team down by 20. By the time it was over, the deficit had been cut to 4. They ended it right there. Guys, we just beat the Lakers by 16. You do that at the start of this game, we can win. Kevin?
Yeah, Craig, thank you. First free throw by Garnett was missed. John, you ever do anything like that?
Well, I did it a lot of times, but one of the things you're doing, you're trying to get in their mind. That was the part when I said about the head. That's not to show strategy. That's to renew confidence that you can play at a certain level and that you can do it against this team.
I'll believe it when I see it in a playoff game in the fourth quarter. I mean, the first quarter, this happens a lot. And I hope Minnesota does make this a great series. And I believe they think they can win this game. I'm not convinced they believe they can win the series.
Bryant can't hit it. It's volleyballed and picked up by Garnett, who is bumped by Kobe Bryant, who picks up his first foul of the game. Kendall Gill is now in for Minnesota, taking the place of Anthony Peeler with 3:14 to play. 6 rebounds by Garnett and 6 points in the first quarter.
And I don't think they have a problem replacing Peeler. Gill's a good substitution. He can try to wear Kobe down a little bit with the tag team. The problem is when they have to substitute for Kevin Garnett and Troy Hudson the way they're playing right now.
So the Timberwolves are shooting 73%. The Lakers are shooting 39%. Minnesota with Serbiak, Hudson, Nesterovic, Garnett, along with Gill. Lakers have not made a change. Their starting 5 is still in the game. And here's Hudson with a miss. Shaq with the rebound out there at Madsen, Kobe Bryant, Fisher, and Rick Fox.
And see, Hudson has a lot of possessions like that, where he comes down, runs the pick and roll, and takes the shot. Nobody else touches the ball in the entire offense. That's not ideal for what your point guard should do. But that's his game, that's his strength, and they need his scoring. But the dilemma is that guys like Serbiak don't get a chance to get involved in the offense quite as much that way.
Here's Kobe trapped into Madsen. He works on Nesterovic. His shot clock went off. The shot was away, and you saw it did not fall. Hudson, Serbiak across the lane with the fake, and Fox hit it and fouls Wally Serbiak.
And he fouled him sending a message, too. He's been very physical with him.
And here's the transition right here. Good job. Just takes him up the dribble, gets a good pump fake as he gets him on his hip, gets free throws at the line. Great offense.
Troy Hudson has started the game 5 of 7. He has a game-high 11 points so far, and he has assisted on 4 other baskets. Lakers have never led. Wolves have been up by as many as 10 and lead now by 6. George and Robert Horry joining Fisher and Shaq and Kobe. Shaq so far has 5. Bryant has 7. Game high 11 from Troy Hudson. Another miss by Minnesota, and from the free throw line, Danny, 0 of 3 for the Timberwolves.
They're exerting a lot of energy, more so than you do in a regular season game. But one thing about this Minnesota Timberwolves, they're one of the teams why they have 51 games, because they don't have an abundance of talent. They do play hard every single night. And this is the Timberwolves that we recognize. On the home court, this is the Timberwolves everybody expected to show up for game 1.
Uh-oh, Shaq bobbled it and somehow vacuums it in. Looks like it may have taken a step, but there's no call, and the crowd doesn't like that. Here comes Los Angeles. They've never led. They've trailed by 10. They're down now by 7. It's Shaq against Nesterovic and doubled by Hudson. And Shaq's got 7 to tie Kobe for Laker high honor.
Well, Nesterovic absolutely cannot guard him, nor can many other people, if you have one-on-one coverage and let him get in the lane.
Garnett's got 6. And makes a fake, and the defense falls back. And Danny, why'd they fall back? I guess the threat of him driving again, huh?
Well, I think because they thought they were going to throw it to Nesterovic. A little breakdown on the Lakers. Nesterovic they thought he was open, but they don't have a problem with Kevin Garnett shooting jump shots. They know that he's going to make some, but that's the least of their concerns.
Shaq again. Rebound by Nesterovic. Minnesota and the Lakers are tied at 10 apiece in rebound. Knocked away by Horry and picked up by Kobe. Bryant brushes by Hudson, tries to gash inside, and can't jam over Nesterovic. And a foul called on Rothwell.
Good foul by Nesterovic right there. Kobe's holding his shoulder, almost tore his arm out of socket right there. But there's no way, this is playoffs, there's no way you can have a guy jump 2 feet from the free throw line and dunk on you.
Oh, yeah, you can. Well, yeah, yes, you
can't convince Kobe to that.
Wow.
That's a good foul.
That is a good foul. Here comes Kobe to the free throw line. For tonight, he has 1 of 2 with 7 points in 11 minutes.
And Russia's done a pretty good job in there. I mean, playing Shaq on an island in the paint is going to be difficult. The guards come down and try to pick at his knees while he's putting the ball on the floor, but that's not a lot of help.
And one thing the Timberwolves have to be very careful of, like in that last offensive possession, they want to be in a hurry, they want to be quick, but they cannot get wild. They've got to take care of the ball and make the Lakers pay for every time they get a possession.
But they've created tempo, I think, in a pretty good way tonight.
Well, definitely so, because you want to run the Lakers. You don't want to let the Lakers just play half court, because by making Shaq get up and down the floor, at least you hope you can break him down.
We saw Rod Strickland getting ready to take off his warm-ups and check in. It's Ori guarding Garnett, who corkscrews up. And Kevin Garnett has 10 with 7 rebounds in the first quarter, some full court man-to-man.
And you can't stop that shot. I mean, Kevin's length and athleticism can get that fadeaway jump shot anytime he wants. And so, you know, he's got to hope that he misses it.
Almost picked off by Hudson on an over pass by Shaq inside. Shot clock at 14 seconds.
Well, this is what's got to happen. When he gets the ball, Garnett's got to go towards the basket, at least to cause Shaq to commit and somebody else will be open, or at least to get in a situation where you get Shaq in foul trouble. I want to see Shaq block 15 or so shots, because that'll cause him to get in foul trouble a lot earlier in the ball game.
Troy Hudson checks out, and so too will Kevin Garnett. Gary Trent will come in for Garnett. Rod Strickland will come in for Troy Hudson. Hudson and Garnett put in outstanding 11-minute performances, each of them.
Right, and Flip is trying to get him rest. Although closing quarters, I've always thought is a very underrated element of the game. But you got to get those guys rest.
Shaq uses the glass, and he's got 9 with 3 rebounds. And the Lakers have slowly come back from a 10-point deficit to now trail by 5.
And I got a feeling that that Flip will have those guys back in the game very soon in the second quarter, unless things take off good.
Nesterovic may have grazed iron. I don't even know if he did that.
You know, we saw it with Rafe LaFrance had a tough time making shots, you know, as well when they're playing against Shaq. I'm telling you, when you spend your time in the weight room and then walk out trying to make a shot, it's very difficult.
No fouls to give either way. Robert Orion corks a 3. Nesterovic the rebound.
And I'd rather see Nesterovic go towards Shaq. Get embarrassed by him blocking the shot, but potentially get him into a foul situation. But standing out at the top of the key shooting long jump shots is not the answer, particularly early in the ball game.
Game clock and shot clock, one and the same. Here comes Strickland trying to carve his way, concoct something inside. It's picked up by Bryant. Good if it goes from midcourt, and he is short, and our first quarter has come to a close. Minnesota shot 68% in that first quarter. The Lakers tonight, 39%. They switch places. And thus, you've got a Minnesota lead of 5 at the end of 1. Well, it's shaping up into everything you thought it could be. Intense, aggressive. The playoffs are here in Minnesota. Line of downtown Minneapolis. The NBA playoffs are here on TNT with Danny Ainge, Craig Sager, and John Thompson. This is Kevin Harlan. The Timberwolves were sizzling in that first quarter. And their coach, Flip Saunders, liked what he saw.
Let's work on the D right now down here, okay? Let's go. Here we go. Everything's two-hand rebounds. All 5 rounds. Let's get a rebound. Make or miss. Let's push it up the floor and see what we get. Let's send those drags in transition. Remind them on side. We haven't got any side.
They are running. Gennaro Pargo has now come in, a rookie out of Arkansas for the Lakers out there with Ori, George, Samaki Walker for the first time in the playoffs. Did not play in game 1. Kobe Bryant remains on the floor for Los Angeles. We begin the second quarter. Lakers are shooting 37% from the field. Trent, Gill, Strickland, Nesterovic, and Serbiak for Minnesota. It's loose and saved by George. A second to fire and count it. He was born in Minneapolis and raised in the Twin Cities, and Kevin George beats the clock and brings the Lakers to within 3.
Well, I'm worried a little bit about Rod Strickland. It is like he's 150 years old out there dribbling that ball to court. He had 3 turnovers in game 1 and didn't look comfortable. It looked like he just did something to his ankle or his knee as he was coming down the court.
Well, he is grimacing.
It's Serbiak across the lane, shoved by George and fouled by Devin George for the first time. You don't think the playoffs are here? Watch Kobe Bryant's hustle on this play.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about him. Everybody talks about his sensational shots, but he'll run down loose balls, he'll rebound, he'll defend. And that's the thing that makes him so special. He doesn't give up on a play very easily.
Mark Jackson has just come in the game for the first time, taking the place of Nesterovic.
And Mark Jackson gave a good effort in the first game, in this second quarter particularly. With Shaq out of the game, even with Shaq in the game, Jackson can step out and make shots, but he has an advantage on the inside right now with strength.
So here's Serbiak, who is the 13th best free throw shooter coming into tonight in the NBA at 87%. and he's got 6.
Well, that's one of the reasons why you want to see him attack the basket and not just rely on a jump shot, because if you can shoot the free throws, you might get embarrassed some with a big guy like Shaq in the middle, but still you'll pick up a lot more fouls by going to the basket.
And this is such an important part of the game. Anytime Shaq goes out for the small rests he takes in the playoffs, it's important to make a little bit of a run. And, you know, Minnesota played as good a basketball as they could play, shooting a high percentage, coach. They were only up 5 at the end of the first quarter. When the Lakers played like they played in game 1, they were up 16. That's the difference between these two teams.
Well, and I think that definitely T-Wolves have to get out and get easy baskets, as Flip was saying in the huddle.
Kobe Bryant with the miss. Rebound by Trent. Given George active underneath. And a whistle and a foul. And that is called on the Timberwolves. And Rod Strickland picks up his first foul for Minnesota.
The thing that the Timberwolves have to be afraid of, too, we're talking so much about this new generated defense of the T-Wolves, but the T-Wolves have to be very careful of the Lakers, because the Lakers are very quick, and if you get careless, you get the ball, you put the ball down low, and the Lakers have an attack mentality also.
Robert Horry has it.
You know, those are the kind of plays we just didn't see out of the Lakers. You know, when you watch them play, the loose balls, hustling, boxing out, all the little effort things in the regular season, we see that in the playoffs.
Gary Trent just picked up his first foul.
Well, it almost becomes disgusting because they have that push-button motivational mentality. But these guys are so good, they can go to that level. We're talking about in the head. They've got a head set also for the playoffs.
Shaq and Kobe each have 9. Kevin Garnett has 10. And here's Pargo from 2 over Strickland. And out of bounds. Minnesota's ball. Minnesota is led by as many as 10. Lakers have never led in the game, as you again see the players on the floor.
Poor Pargo is out here all before practice, shooting in practice. First thing he shoots, he hardly hits the rim.
You know, the Lakers, a lot of people have forgotten that they were the second best team in the league.
Kevin Garnett climbing the ladder, up high and down hard.
What a spectacular play. Great pass by Mark Jackson, too. No ball pressure on the Lakers and perfect execution.
It's Bryant with Garnett defending. Shot clock at 6. Bryant will try to gash the Minnesota defense. 1 fake, 2 fakes. And it's picked up by Robert Horry to George. They'll reload their offense.
Well, that's what the T-Wolves can't do. You can't let them get 2 and 3 shots on the offensive board.
Jackson the rebound. The crowd is still buzzing over the Garnett jam. That's a foul on Devin George of the Lakers. He's picked up his second moments ago coming off the Phil Jackson bench.
And I've wondered why they haven't done this more. That's perfect execution. It's actually pretty well defended, but he's so long it doesn't even take a perfect pass. The ball's right at the outside of the glass, and he still dunks the ball.
That's a pretty play. Oh, my bobblehead just broke. My Jimmy Jam bobblehead just broke.
That was a fastball, Kevin.
Jimmy got jammed on that one.
Look at.
It's a good thing you didn't play baseball.
I just got this Jimmy Jam. Look at the it's gone. Look, and there he is right there. Oh man. Even the bobbleheads are taking it tonight.
I put Kevin on the injured list for about a week.
There's Kobe Bryant for 2. And Kobe now in double figures with 11 points in 15 minutes.
Well, he is unbelievable. Just the things that Kobe does on the floor, you know, and a lot of little insignificant things. He's so sensational with his offense that a lot of times you don't pick up the little defensive help things he does.
Garnett with the miss. Nice rebound inside by Trent. And a foul on Minnesota.
You know what's great about that shot by Kobe, though, is, you know, Kobe comes off the screen. They run the offense. You know, if they would run with Wally Serbiak in there, he could get shots like that, too. But they have point guards that try to score all the time.
The crowd is still shaking their head. A mesmerizing play. Again, turned in by Kevin Garnett. The big ticket stamping one home. Timberwolves have led the entire way, up by 5. 32-27. You're watching the NBA playoffs on TNT.
He did not see. They didn't see that dunk by Garnett.
Shaq is back in the game out there with George And Brian Shaw in for the first time, a 3-second defensive violation on the Timberwolves. That's a technical shot in possession for the Lakers. Ori, Pargo, Shaq, George, and Shaw. Laker 5. Minnesota with Peeler back in the game with Jackson, Strickland. They've got Kevin Garnett out there and Wally Serbia. And that's the Minnesota lineup on the floor. The Timberwolves are shooting 67% from the field. The Lakers 37% from the floor.
And they're up by 4.
Yeah.
With a chance to get it to within 2.
Well, that's the thing that's got to happen with the T-Wolves. They started off with a lot of energy and Clippers demanding, but they've got to definitely be able to sustain it because this Laker team definitely is on their win track. They're not going on cruise control now.
It's Shaq pulling the trigger once, knocked away by Jackson inside, and a foul. And Mark Jackson.
You know, they used up a ton of emotion to start the game, but they don't have a choice. They got to try to sustain it as much as they can, but they may be just getting tired out. Look at that. I mean, they got to finish the play, though. That's the second time he shoots the ball up, and they just fall away. And although Shaq has something to do with them falling off, and it's like a banana that's being peeled from all sides at once.
And here's Shaq hitting the free throw. And tonight, Shaq from the line, 2 of 2. Lakers are 6 of 7 from the stripe. John, offensive rebound.
Well, and you see that the Lakers are getting 6 offensive rebounds. It doesn't make sense to play the type of aggressive defense if you don't keep them off the boards. And the Timberwolves have no offensive rebounds. If you force Shaq to help, then you come in from the weak side and go to your own offensive board.
Well, one reason why they don't have any offensive rebounds, they're shooting 67%. And the Lakers have offensive rebounds because they're shooting 35%. So there's a lot more opportunities for them on the offensive glass right now.
Overall, Minnesota is +2 in rebounding. Strickland was trying to split the defense of Pargo and George. And a foul called on Pargo.
Who's posting up right here, Kevin? Shaq? Oh, well, look at that. They got like 3 Lakers around there. It's Rod Strickland. Well, Rod's a pretty good post-up player, but he's not that good.
Wally Serbia. And Jackson tries to corral it. He does offensively. Back into Serbia. With a nice.
Well, and there's your first offensive rebound. And particularly if the Lakers are swarming around people, you come in from the weak side and you go to your offensive boards aggressively.
Robert Horry picked up by Garnett. Laser it inside. Shaq back out to Horry for 3. Rebound by Jackson. Horry has come off the bench and started 0 of 3. Strickland. And over the outstretched reach with Kevin Garnett. Shoved on the play.
Well, and here's the situation where you see that first offensive rebound. One of the reasons why that happened is the Lakers had 3 guys around the guy defending them, and then you can come in from the weak side. You can't stand and watch when your teammate is being double-teamed, triple-teamed.
Robert Horry just picked up his first foul. Troy Hudson back in the game for Minnesota, taking the place of Strickland. Rick Fox has come back in for the Lakers, taking the place of Devin George.
Hudson had a good rest right there. Strickland gave him some good minutes.
Hudson for 3. Rebound, Peeler. Another offensive rebound. It's Serbia sneaking his way inside. Hudson has it. And a whistle and a Laker foul. It is on Pargo for a second time.
Look at Anthony Peeler. He's not getting any shots. He's only taken 1 so far. He's playing Kobe, doing a good job defensive, full court pressing, getting rebounds. Peeler's exposed in his floor game. They're going to expect that out of him every night.
Well, see, and this is the advantage of Shaq. Shaq not only didn't block the shot, but he covered the guy up. As a result of that, Zerbiak threw a pass wide, which gave Fox an opportunity to get a hand on it.
Now the penalty was 7:14 left in the second quarter. I told you just moments ago about the free throw shooting for the Timberwolves. It is 3 of 7. And each team has nailed a 3. Turnovers in the game. The second free throw is down. Lakers have turned it over 3 times. The Timberwolves 5 times.
And still full court pressure on everything that's made by the Timberwolves. They still pick up 4.
Shaq has got 10. Oh, slammed in by the uncovered Robert Horry, who throws down a sledgehammer.
Well, see, and that's an example we were talking about earlier when we said they had 8 or 6 offensive rebounds. You got to even go back to help, but you got to return and box out on the weak side when you help it on Shaq.
Garnett, no look pass, picked off. Here comes Fisher. Turnover number 6 for Minnesota.
You should have looked. Fisher was standing there the whole time.
Fisher for 3. And he drills it, and he's got 5. And the Timberwolves lead is down to 1. The Lakers have never led. Timeout, Minnesota. And a 10-point lead has evaporated, and Flip Saunders' team leads by 1.
Great play right there. Garnett's got a box out. Horry comes from the weak side. Beautiful play by Robert Horry. Good timeout, too, by Flip Saunders, knowing that relinquishing the lead could be a huge emotional for the crowd and for his team.
Lakers on a 9-2 run. Timeout. Lakers have never led. Wolves have been up by as many as 10. Los Angeles is on a 9-2 run right now.
This is a very important time for the Timberwolves.
It's Derek Fisher's first personal foul.
You know, and I like Fisher, he's being aggressive, but when you're in the penalty, you've got to respect the penalty. You can't give teams easy points at the free throw line. You can do that until you get to the penalty, but you just can't hold and grab out here and give them 2 free throws.
Well, a lot of that happens with you getting caught up in the emotions of the game. One of the things that I really like, though, about the Lakers is we talk so much about the necessity for the attitude of the T-Wolves. The Lakers definitely have gotten themselves charged and understand that it's playoff competition.
And some full court pressure approaching the halfway point of our second quarter.
You know, now the Lakers have climbed right back in this game, and we'll see if they continue their intensity and smart play.
Nice pass, Horry to the slashing Kobe Bryant, who's got 13 points.
Beautiful pass by Horry off the dribble. How many 6'10" guys can do that? Just dribble down, jump stop, and bounce past the Kobe. Perfect. Good execution.
Well, see, a lot of that was caused by the pressure from the T-Wolves causing the forwards to come up to help, but Horry did handle it very well.
Wheeler to Serbiak, and the shot clock is down to 4 for Garnett, picked up by Shaq. Kevin Garnett. He's got a game-high 14 tied with Hudson at 14. Garnett 7 of 9 from the field.
You know, and they do handle the pressure much better with Robert Horry in the court than they do with Mark Madsen out there as well.
It's Shaq grinding his way inside, and that trickles in, and Shaq's got 12.
Well, there's no way in the world Jackson's going to let him get the ball in the post and stop him. Shaq doesn't even see him when he goes over the top.
Wheeler with the Jackson screen. Mark Jackson. Yeah, he can hit that shot.
Well, that's the strength of his offensive game. Doesn't have a great low post game. Knows how to pursue the ball on the offensive glass and knock down that mid-range jump shot.
And John, with that, Minnesota gets their first bench points tonight. That's big against the Lakers. You got to go deep against L.A.
Well, and they're trying to put pressure, as much pressure as they can. They're trying to really put a lot of pressure on Horry. But Jackson's doing a good job of sending Horry up because a big defender can't put as much pressure as a little defender sometimes.
Fox missing a 3. Horry is on Garnett, catch. Running inside.
See, and that's exactly what I was talking about in terms of penetrating, too. But the extended pressure, Horry has to bring the ball down. Look how hard he has to work. He's doing it successfully. He made great decisions at the end of the play. But you want him to work that hard to have to bring the ball down the floor. A smaller guy sometimes can go by his man a lot easier and doesn't use as much energy.
Shaq just picked up his first personal foul.
And a good penetration right there on Garnett. Garnett's difficult because he's pretty quick off the dribble. Robert Horry is a smart defender but does not have great lateral movement at defending on the perimeter. Kevin Garnett recognized that and took him right to the basket.
Well, see, and I like the fact that Kevin Garnett is going to the basket. Even if you get your shots blocked, particularly in the first half of the ball game, to get Shaq in a position where he becomes tentative about helping on defense, you've got to attack him, not run from him and shoot long jump shots.
Mark Madsen back in the game, taking the place of Robert Horry. Run it again.
And with Madsen in the game, the pressure is more because you don't want Madsen dribbling it up if you're the Lakers.
And they're fronting the guards and not guarding Shaq, using the man guarding Shaq as a left fielder.
Bring it out, baby!
With a man guard. Approaching 4 to play in the half. Bryant. Wheeler is right there. Doubled by Serbiak. Touch pass. Fox to Fisher. Fisher detonates inside. Rebound by Garnett.
You see, and that's what they didn't do last time. They pressured him and forced him to penetrate.
Troy Hudson. Shaq gets the rebound. He's got 5. Kevin Garnett has a game-high 9 rebounds. Minnesota is +5 in rebounding tonight. Lakers have hit 2 threes. Minnesota 1. And picked up by Hudson. Here comes Jackson and Serbiak 3-on-1. Lakers came to within a point, and Minnesota has accelerated to a 45-38 lead. Timeout, Los Angeles.
I love Troy Hudson right here, though. He had the lay-in, could go all the way to the basket, but gives up to Serbia. He knows how much Wally loves to score. That's a point guard.
Lakers have never led, and the Timberwolves back on top by 7.
Los Angeles, as the Lakers honored their past and revisited their roots. George Mikan, the NBA's first great big man. Kevin?
Wonderful piece, Craig. Thank you so much. Bryant, Fox for 3. Rebound by Serbiak. Approaching 3 minutes to play. Minnesota's on top, 45-38, winding down the first half. Kevin Garnett.
Well, see, and that's another way to create a problem. Both Jackson and Garnett are hitting those shots, and Shaq's not playing them. That's understandable because he doesn't want to leave the post where he's comfortable defensively. If they make those shots, that can create a problem also.
Garnett's got 18. Minnesota's on an 8-0 run. Here comes the electrifying Kobe Bryant. Fox for 3. That finally rolls in for Rick Fox.
That's okay. That's good defense. Let's continue. The ball was contested right there. Fox had to shoot it up over the hand of Serbiak running at him. But the main thing is, coaches, they've been pushing it up. And they start the quick hitting pick and rolls, and they swing the ball to Garnett, who's open. And I like the pace that they're trying to create, even after made baskets.
It's Garnett against Manson. Shaq there to knock the door closed. Jackson picks it up and puts it in.
Well, see, even though it's a broken play, by pulling Shaq to help, you left somebody open under the basket, which was Jackson in that instance. Good things happen when you attack the basket, force Shaq to commit.
Minnesota's still shooting 67% from the field. Lakers 39% from the floor.
And that was a big timeout by Phil. We talked about how important this segment of the game is. They came out and responded after the timeout. They just keep scoring.
Rick Fox is 2 of 6. Here comes Serbiak, pointing his way down the lane, and a foul on Fox. And Serbiak was the one to draw it out of the Laker defense. That's the second on Fox.
Right here, Shaq does a good job. As Kevin puts the ball on the floor, Shaq does a great job coming over, stopping penetration, and then blocking the pass. Jackson in the right place at the right time.
And what it does when Shaq does come over to help like that, it leaves the basket vulnerable for weak side rebounders to come in. Shaq did indeed cover up the pass, but you want to try to attack him and make him come to you and dish to the guy that he's guarding or who's behind him.
Minnesota has taken 5 more free throws than the Lakers tonight. Timberwolves 9 of 13. Lakers are 6 of 8. And a quick 20-second timeout taken by Los Angeles. A game-high 18 for Garnett, 14 for Hudson for Minnesota. In fact, Garnett's got a double-double. 18 points and 10 rebounds for the Timberwolves. Bryant's got 13. Shaq's got 12 for L.A. Well, we've talked about tempo all night long for Minnesota.
And they're doing a good job. They're just pushing it. Not only are they forcing the Lakers into missing shots, which is critical in establishing tempo, but they're forcing the issue and they're getting into quick hitting pick and rolls. Hudson's done a nice job of scoring and distributing.
And one of the things when you look at that, by pushing down the floor, you don't have to play against Shaq's defense. That time Shaq was trailing in behind Serbiak.
Here's the easy point breakdown tonight. And not a great deal of difference between the two. Which is what the Timberwolves were yearning for coming into tonight, making it as easy as possible against the very uneasy O'Neal.
And a lot of those, they don't have a lot of fast breaks per se, but they do have a lot of jump shots in transition, easy open 17 and 15 footers by pushing the ball and forcing the tempo.
And on defense, they're forcing the Lakers to use the whole floor offensively, because when they make a basket, the guy that's guarding the inbound is playing in left field, and they're fronting the 2 guards to force the forwards to play the full court, and that gets tiring.
Kobe Bryant. Oh, great shot again by Kobe Bryant. who's put in 15 to lead Los Angeles.
And he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, he is.
As long as this score is close, the Lakers have a chance to win with this guy on the floor.
Hudson tried to feed a pass, which ricochets off the defending Laker. The shot clock at 12, the big clock at 1:17, winding down the second quarter.
The thing that you look at with Kobe, we talked about so much about attitude and body language, but he's just bubbling over with confidence. And if you look at how he plays and when he plays in big times, that's why they have to open up some kind of comfortable lead late in this game.
Here comes Bryant. With a paralyzing move on Hudson. And can't float it in. Garnett taps it to Jackson. Here comes Hudson. Saves it on the side.
Derek Fisher last time down the court did a great job of boxing out Mark Jackson.
That's a foul on Minnesota's Mark Jackson. It's a second on him.
Well, I think the offensive guy started to dribble before the screener Jackson got out there. These people in this arena aren't going to think any call that's made against the T-Wolves is a correct call, though.
And I think it's, again, this is still important, finishing this half strong, the way they play. They don't want to let the Lakers get too close and spoil an incredible first half.
No fouls to give either way. And a 3-second violation in Minnesota. No, it's on the Lakers. It's a 3-second on Los Angeles. That is the 5th Los Angeles turnover. The Timberwolves have turned it over 7 times tonight.
But it's also a call that you very seldom hear called, a 3-second offensive call.
Well, we had a 3-second defensive call on the Timberwolves earlier in the game. Half-minute to play in the first half. Horry picks up a foul. The shove. It's a second on him.
Shaq looked at him like, who, me? I can't stand in there? I've been doing it a long time.
Well, guys, let's step back here a second and analyze what's happened in this first half. Minnesota is up by 7. Danny, we'll start with you.
While shooting the percentage they are, creating tempo and playing aggressive, intense defense, forcing the Lakers. They're not giving the Lakers anything. You know, you think you got the dilemma of the inside-outside. Well, really, nobody's getting off for the Lakers right now. Shaq and Kobe are having to earn everything they get.
I think they did exactly what Flip Saunders wanted to do. The pace of the game is where they wanted. They wanted to run the Lakers up and down, and now they're fronting, trying to deny the guards from getting the ball with the left fielder back. They want to force the pace offensively and defensively.
A steal by Peeler and a subsequent 2. And the Timberwolves have their biggest lead tonight of 11.
And look how far the front line has to come up, Kevin. They're making them play full court. Shaq is across the half-court line. Fox is across the half-court line. Horry is across the half-court line. That'll break you down.
You know, Flip Saunders was telling us before the game, he doesn't have the personnel that can play this kind of pressure defense and create turnovers. I don't know. They're playing with quite a bit of energy right now.
Horry pulling the ball, and it's a turnover with 6 seconds to play.
See, and that's what pressure does. If you constantly can apply it, everybody's covered, you'll get some easy turnovers.
Look at Anthony Peeler. He's turning into a defensive stopper. Where's this guy been for the last 7 years? Great pick by Peeler right there.
Peeler is an original Laker draft choice.
What I was surprised at is that Kobe got so upset with the call that he didn't go back and defend. That's un-Kobe-like. He's so competitive that he defends almost everything.
What is unique about Peeler, he and George Lynch were Lakers and were traded to Vancouver to make room for the new acquisition, Kobe Bryant, who was acquired in a trade for Vlade Divac.
And one thing we want to remember is that this game is not over. I'm not going to crown him defensive king until that final buzzer goes off, because we know that Kobe can break loose in the second half.
Oh, I'm just talking about the full court pressure defense. I'm not saying he's going to stop Kobe. That guy just has a ton of energy. He's all over the place, and he's playing with a lot of heart at it, and he's playing full court.
Well, I think Flip's scheme is very good.
Beats the buzzer.
What a spectacular call by Flip Saunders out of that 20-second timeout to get that open shot. Perfect execution.
Let's check in with Craig Sager.
All right, Troy, you knew the start was important, but Danny Ainge kept saying they have to finish strong in the second quarter. Talk about the last shot.
Last shot, the coach drew up a play for me to get the ball to KG, and we ran a flare with Shaq's man, knowing that he would be sagging off in the lane, and I was able to get an open look.
This tempo, this pace suits right into your strengths. What do you guys have to do here in the second half?
We just have to continue to play with the same intensity we're playing with on defense and continue to push the ball up and down the court. We feel that we have advantage whenever we get out getting some fast break opportunities.
Congratulations, great first half, 19 points, 5 assists. Now let's go back over to Kevin.
They're going to review it. Oh, it's easily off in time. And even though they're going to look at it, not even close. As Jack Neese, one of the great officials in the NBA, has seen it, count it, and the Timberwolves have their biggest lead tonight, 57-43. The Lakers cut the lead, Ernie Johnson, to 1, 39-38 with 5:20 left. And then EJ, the Timberwolves go on an 18-5 run to close out the half. And there's our halftime score as we swing it to you down in Georgia.
A lot of character that they could sustain that energy that they started the game with.
And here's an interesting note, too, on Troy Hudson, who you see right there. With him in the game, Minnesota is plus 18. When he's out, -4.
He was huge.
Well, see, and they're doing it again. They're fronting the guards. Now, as a result of it, the big guys have to come back and help. Even if they break the pressure, it's going to take a lot more energy on the part of the Lakers.
Oh, I want to see Mark Madsen bring it up again. That was sweet.
So does Flip.
Yes. Fisher, Kobe Bryant trying to chisel his way inside and fouled on the play. Serbiak was there. And the foul is going to go on Garnett for the second time. So let's set the starting five for each team to begin the second half. Lakers with Fisher, Shaq, Kobe, Mark Madsen, and Rick Fox. Timberwolves with Peeler, Hudson, Serbiak, Garnett, and Rasho Nesterovic.
Well, and even as intense as the Timberwolves defense has been, what are the things that you can anticipate? You can anticipate the fact that Kobe is going to step up his game and that they're in the half-court set are going to go more frequently to Shaq. So you've got to tighten up even more if you're the Timberwolves, because you know the Lakers aren't going to just lay down dead for you.
Bryant's got 17. Kevin Garnett's got 18 for Minnesota. Those are the two scoring thrusts so far for each team. Garnett whistle blew, 3-second violation. And it's inside on Minnesota.
3-second violation. Boy, that's something. That's the second one we've seen. You can go on most months and not see a 3-second call.
Well, Serbiak went down to set a screen for Garnett coming out, and he flashed in the post anticipating a high-low pass, but he stayed there when the ball didn't come.
Shaq, what a pass to Kobe Bryant. But Kobe can't convert. And Hudson the other way for the Timberwolves. And he'll unleash it.
Wow, he continues the hot shooting. But what I'd love is, again, the speed in which they're getting into the pick and rolls.
Hudson's got game high 21 points. Fox. Madsen, offensive rebound, and slams it down. That's his 4th offensive rebound tonight.
Oh, he said, excuse me, big ticket, but you're a ticket stub on that one.
And that's his role. His role is to be a weak side player and pass the ball.
Oh, and Kevin Garnett laces a 3. He's only a 28% three-point shooter.
He comes back and gets 3. Madsen only got 2. Madsen believes he can dribble now, though. And his confidence in the ball handling skills.
Rick Fox. Kevin Garnett lassos his 13th rebound. Peeler for 3.
Oh, man, they are not backing down. They are feeling it tonight. I love the aggressiveness. They are just attacking this championship team.
Minnesota's got their biggest lead. They have gone 4 of 5 shooting 3-point shots tonight. Shaq trying to hook it in. Knocked away. Picked up by Peeler. Another turnover by Los Angeles, the 8th of the game.
I don't think Flip Saunders is going to be able to convince anybody that they can't get out and pressure defense all around.
Serbia. It's a foul. Rick Fox picks up his 3rd. What a difference From the other night for Minnesota, who went just 1 of 5. And tonight 4 of 5. Here's Serbiak at the free throw line, and he is 4 of 6 there tonight.
It's amazing how the team that's in that attack mode, Coach, always shoots better, always does everything better. When you're attacking on defense, not letting the offense dictate what they want to do, but you try to dictate what you want them to do. And same with, Minnesota's attacking at both ends of the court.
Well, that's the thing that helps them so much defensively also, because once they score and they're making a high percentage, they're able to pick up, confront the guards, and then really force what has happened just now, the big guys to come out and help.
Not only that, this is an entertaining game to watch, watching this Minnesota team play. Can the rest of the NBA please watch this game and take a lesson? Full court basketball is entertaining.
Very entertaining. Garnett picked up his 3rd foul right there.
The thing that's got to happen, though, is that you've got to make your shots. If you make your shots, you can extend your defense. If the Lakers tighten up on them defensively, they won't be able to press the Lakers.
The first half, Minnesota's on a 28-9 run. Anthony Peeler started tonight with 5, a 2-point try there. Nesterovic knocked it away, and Kevin Garnett brings it on in.
They're really beating the Lakers even to loose balls now. I mean, they really are sustaining this, and that's good. And I'm sure this makes Saunders very happy.
Hudson! Claude Hudson has gone mad! He's got 24 points. 8 of 12 from the field.
It's time to put the hitman on Hudson. But you got to stop that from happening.
It's Fisher for 3.
And a big shot by Fisher right there. Troy Hudson third. He thought he was posting up Shaq. And they went back, and it was Mark Madsen. He said, oops, I shouldn't have left Fisher in the corner.
Hudson again. With a rebound by George. Timberwolves are shooting 66%, Lakers 38% for the game.
But it's really interesting, even when the Lakers score and they're trailing by 20, they still don't pick up full court defensively at all. They still run back.
Madsen can't get it. Out of bounds off Los Angeles with 8:14 to play. Rebounding in the game, Minnesota is +8.
Well, right here, I mean, this is Troy's game. He loves to score. He's been a scorer his whole life. Right there coming off the screen, and he's really feeling the side. But, Coach, 2 possessions in a row. You got this run. Mark Madsen takes the shot. He posts up the next time. Where is Shaq Daddy?
Well, see, and that's one of the great things about the pressure defense, that they're not allowing them to get in a slow half-court set. But you're absolutely correct. If Madsen's coming down quickly and taking shots, that's exactly what the T-Wolves want him to do, and not what Jackson wants him to do.
Ball rotation doesn't produce any points. Shaq gets his 7th rebound with 12 points. Kobe's got 17. The only 2 Lakers in double figures.
You know, it's always scary when you win a game big and everybody's prognosticating sweep and everything. It's always difficult to come out and play with the same intensity the next game. I've been involved in a lot of series myself, Coach, where, you know, you blow a team out in a game and everybody thinks the series is over and you end up losing that series.
Kevin Garnett.
You know, and the interesting thing about that, Danny, is it's not because of the complacency of the Lakers either. It's what you said. It's the intensity of the T-Wolves. They didn't get discouraged, and they did come out here with the proper headset, which is very important. To be confident and be aggressive and not sit back and be passive the way they were in the first game.
Well, they were completely embarrassed in game 1, and they should have been.
Kevin Garnett has put in 23. The Timberwolves have led by as many as 23. Right now on top by 22. Troy Hudson has put in 24 points in 23 minutes, hitting a dazzling array of shots. Serbiak just picked up his 2nd foul with 7:14 to play in the 3rd quarter. Lakers have never led. They're trailing now by 22.
I love Mark Madsen's energy, but in the half-court offense, he was really hurting them. They weren't even guarding him. They were double-teaming Shaq and playing the zone on Kobe before they ever even caught the basketball.
And they got Devin George on a charge.
Well,
George picks up his third.
And they have the Lakers, Kevin, playing faster than they want to play. You know, the Flip's done a great job of extending the offense of the Lakers. If the Lakers are able to settle down in a real tight half-court offense, you can utilize Shaq. But pressuring like this, forcing their big guys to come up to help, it plays right into the hands of the Timberwolves.
Robert Horry is in and was just belted out of bounds by Nesterovic, who picks up his second foul.
You know, Phil Jackson's got to start thinking of some adjustments now all of a sudden, just the way they're playing. Not so much for this game, but in the games. You know, Devin George is a big, strong guy who can move his feet a little bit better on the perimeter than Robert Horry and give him some offensive production where Mark Madsen can't. And, you know, maybe they could play Devin George and start him at power forward.
Shaq's got 12. He had 32 on Sunday. And he's into Serbiak in the lane and hooks it home. Pretty play by Shaquille O'Neal.
It's one of the first times that they've been able to settle down and be able to concentrate on getting them into it. The other thing that the pressure is doing is making the Lakers play with a very short clock.
Garnett will fake inside and a defensive foul, and Horry picks it up. That was the third on Robert Horry.
Well, Flip knew that Shaq and Kobe were going to get their points, and he thought if he could hold them at 60 or under, that was a magic number, and try to contain the rest of the guys, not let Fox or Fisher or Horry get going, and they've done a great job of that so far tonight.
Great pass by Kevin Garnett, who lasers it inside for Wally Serbiak.
Well, everything's going well for him right now. The Lakers definitely are in trouble in this one, but what we got to keep in mind is
Robert Horry just gave a crushing pick, and he's called for the foul, which brings Phil Jackson off the Laker bench.
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
I am. I think it was a terrible call.
Robert Horry looks like he's just planted, holding ground. He
leaned into him.
Just a little bit, but that was more because Serbiak was coming so hard, you have to absorb the shock.
Knocked away by George. And the Lakers steal in a Timberwolves 10th turnover. The turnovers are now even at 10.
That was a good screen right there.
There's an NBA screen. Rotating to Horry. Fisher and Garnett got there in a hurry. A little mismatch here, and Fisher will try to exploit inside. Shaq over to Nesterovic. Rebound Shaq with a flush. Shaq's got 16 points and 8 rebounds.
And a whole lot of basketball still to be played.
Can they keep it up? The Timberwolves, that is, with this intensity and pace.
And can the Timberwolves keep scoring? Can they continue to put pressure on the Lakers? Because the Lakers don't score points in bunches. Hey, I ran into a lot of screens like Robert Horry just said on Serbiak. We see right here, this is normal speed right here. Serbiak's going hard down the sidelines, and Horry is just protecting himself. His shoulders were tilted a little bit forward, but he didn't deliver a blow.
It was the tilt that got him.
I think it was the flop that got him. I don't think the official actually saw the screen. I think he saw Wally's body.
The only thing I know is those big forwards enjoyed that little tilt on Danny.
Nesterovic picked up a foul at the other end. And here's a Laker foul at this end. And this goes on Kobe for a second time.
I always acted like I didn't see him out of the corner of my eye, and I'd run into him hard, and then I'd flop, and they'd get fouled.
That doesn't surprise any of us.
Not at all.
It's like a free shot.
Hudson pestered by Fisher, who picks up the foul. I know you guys were talking about this game being different, and Minnesota had to do a couple of things to make it a different field tonight. But did you expect a 23-point at one-time difference, now a 20-point difference in this game?
No, I didn't. I mean, I thought Minnesota would be lucky to win the game, and they've come out and proven that wrong to this point. But again, there we go. We talk about the respecting the penalty. If they're in the penalty and you foul a guy 40 feet from the basket, and you just give them free throws and allow them to continue scoring.
The other thing that you've got to be real careful of is a lot of basketball to be played in this ball game. All the Lakers want to do is cut this thing down to about 10 and then play them in the fourth period.
Troy Hudson has just tied a career playoff high at 26 points. That is a game high at 26 right now. Garnett's got 23.
Minnesota had a tendency to let people back in. They have not had the killer instinct even in the regular season, but you know, the question is, can they keep scoring the ball? Because I think the Lakers will make a nice run offensively in this game.
Robert Horry's got 4.
Chip away, chip away. That's all the Lakers want to do. You can't get that 20-point lead back in 5 seconds.
Fisher a foul. He's got 3.
Well, I mean, that's just silly. He's going to give him 4 straight points.
3-point shooting. Minnesota has hit 5 threes, and the Lakers have hit 4 in this game. And free throw shooting, Timberwolves are 15 of 20. Lakers are 8 of 10.
Well, you can argue with the official all you want, but it's time to adjust now. These guys are making these calls. You got to know they're making them, and then you got to be smart and stop putting them on the line.
Hudson's got a new career playoff high. 27. Kobe Bryant sailing in. And picked up by Peeler. Now to Hudson. And rumbling the other way. That ball may have been deflected on the shot. And here comes Fisher for Los Angeles. Approaching 4 to play in the 3rd.
Well, I know one thing that was deflected. That was Hudson's elbow right there. Fisher got the snake bite and got away with it right there. Hudson should have been given 6 straight free throws.
Hudson and Serbiak knock it away. 11 Laker turnovers. Hudson goes climbing inside, crashing into Fisher. That's a foul on Hudson.
And that's a great defensive stop right there. That's a great stop. You know, good hustle by the Timberwolves running that ball down. Good job by Nesterovic keeping it alive. And then right here, Fisher does a great job of anticipating the drive by Hudson. He should have given the ball up to Serbiak coming down the left wing.
Well, in 2 successive possessions, Hudson lost the basketball. You got to be very careful right in here. You can't just get careless if you're the Timberwolves.
Rod Strickland is coming, joining Serbiak, Nesterovic, Peeler, and Kevin Garnett. 3:50 left in the 3rd. Spin move, tapping try. George, shot! Rocking the rim, and Shaquille O'Neal's put an 18. That is a Laker high.
That's too bad on a defensive stop. Nesterovic did an excellent job defending Shaq, forced him into a tough shot, but the determination of George and Ori enabled Shaq to get that easy basket.
Fisher, Ori, Shaq, Kobe, and George out there for Los Angeles. Have a nice move. 25 for Kevin Garnett.
Going to the basket. Good job. No fadeaways.
Lakers are shooting 38%. Bryant. Right there. Kobe Bryant with 19.
And right there, you know, earlier in the game, they're running at Kobe, taking that ball out of his hands. They don't want to let Kobe have any just stand still, wide open shots. He can jump and elevate over Peeler. Wally Serbiak has got to run at him and continue in the game plan.
Strickland inside. Minnesota shooting 63%. Nesterovic gets it. And deflected by Los Angeles out of bounds. Shot clock will be at 7.
Didn't Shaq foul Strickland right there? He grabbed him around the neck.
Looked like it.
But right here, Garnett does a good job. He doesn't just settle the shot. He takes it into the paint, going to the basket, putting pressure on the defense.
The Timberwolves by 20 over the 3-time defending champion Lakers. Just part of his 25-point, 15-rebound performance tonight. And Garnett again. Missing off the side of the backboard. And the Lakers the other way.
These last 26, 28 minutes are going to be very important for the Timberwolves, I think.
Oh, Strickland comes up with a nice play. Great feed to Serbia. How can a team look so dramatically different in the space of a couple days? And speaking of both Los Angeles and Minnesota.
A lot of time it has to do with the team you're playing. You know, this is not the same Minnesota team, and this is not the same Laker team. The basket hasn't been as big, and a lot of it is because of the way Minnesota's playing against them. The Lakers looked so dominant in game 1 because of the team they were playing.
Nesterovic will check out. Mark Jackson checks in. Devin George just picked up his 4th foul. And rookie Kareem Rush has come in for the Los Angeles Lakers.
And I think Kevin Flip Saunders' game plan has been excellent. His defensive pressure full court, the tempo, forcing them to play faster than they want to play. You know, and the players have executed it very well.
Shaq to rush. Rookie from Missouri. Foul called on Serbia. 3 on Serbia. Well, when you analyze the defense by both teams, there's some numbers you can take and use to work.
Yeah, I think the 64-40 sums up everything right there. 64% stops. The Lakers are shooting a horrible percent, and it's because of the defense. Every shot is contested. The Lakers have not been patient in getting into Shaq. The defensive pressure has taken them out of what they are normally accustomed to doing.
Well, in particular, the extension of the defense, you wouldn't let them play with Shaq as much. You know, it forced the big guys to come up. It forced the big guys to work harder. You had a shorter clock to play when you were the Lakers, so you couldn't identify Shaq as easily as you ordinarily would inside.
Ron Strickland. Garnett double. Spoon feed Strickland.
There's something bothering Strickland, but he's such a smart veteran player. He's just trying to buy some time for Troy Hudson to get back in the game. But he looks out there like he's playing on one leg.
Robert Horry basically left free to fire. 1:30 to play in the third quarter.
84 side. Get down, Cam.
Again, we keep talking about finishing quarters, but the Timberwolves have done a good job of that. They have to finish this quarter strong.
You definitely don't want them to break it, you know, down to 10. If they get it down to 10, the Lakers are going to feel real good.
Strickland again. Oh, and Ron Strickland. It's 2 in a row, part of Minnesota's 63% effort from the field.
Like a fine wine.
Wow. He's got the bench. That won't fly. Garnett brings down his 16th rebound tonight with 25 points.
You wonder why coaches like those veteran players.
Anthony Peeler for 3. Shaq 9 rebounds. Lakers the other way, 38% from the floor. Minnesota is +8 in rebounding tonight.
And Kobe's getting thirsty. They're not running the offense right now. And Flip Saunders loves to see that.
Garnett, Jackson with the screen. Dumps it inside to Jackson.
Great pass by Kevin Garnett, rather than to force up a wild shot.
He's got 6 assists tonight.
It'll be interesting to see how much resiliency the Lakers team have, knowing they can just get a split here in Minnesota. They know they got a long way to go in this series. It'll be interesting to see how hard they come out of this fourth quarter.
Oh, Kareem Rush buries a 3 at the buzzer. It'll count. The Lakers nail their 5th at 3. Minnesota's hit 5 from above the arc. Minnesota led by 14 at halftime. They up that to 21. At the end of 3, they've led by as many as 24. As Kevin Garnett is zeroing in on a triple-double. He's already authored 6 of those this season. At the end of 3, 88-67, the Timberwolves. And there's the governor of Minnesota, Jesse Ventura. A former Navy SEAL and a guy who has been a Timberwolves season ticket holder since day 1. We begin the fourth quarter, the Timberwolves, with Kendall Gill, Rod Strickland, Trent Jackson, and Serbian. And Strickland tries to pry his way inside. And Jackson inside. Wipe it away. Lakers out there with a group that includes a couple of rookies, Gennaro Pargo and Kareem Rush, with Horry, Madsen, along with Kobe Bryant. 3rd foul put on Mark Madsen.
And Jackson extended his defense for the first time. He put that group in. I guess he's trying to force the tempo a little bit and trying to see how the Timberwolves will react to his pressure.
I'm amazed at Strickland. He's doing a good job. He's got something bothering his leg. I'm telling you, he's just beating the pressure, and that was a great penetration, opening up the easy opportunity for Jackson inside.
Danny, he missed 33. Talking about Rod Strickland, he missed 33 games with a strained left groin earlier this season. He is not 100% even now.
No, you can see facial every time they cross him over.
That's a Gary Trent pickup. Strickland. Serbia picked up by Rush. Knocked away by Pargo. Trent. That is a 3-second violation. John, you don't see it very often. You've seen 3 tonight on their offensive side and 1 defensive.
And at least they're being consistent, and then you have to adjust to it. That's all you want from the officials is you want to know how they're going to call. They certainly have let you know they're not going to let you stand in the lane.
Kobe. Rush. Pargo. Paxson with the fadeaway and nails it. Mark Madsen has got 4.
I'm not sure that's the best way to come back.
Strickland, Jackson, Trent, Gill. The 2. Serbiak, offensive rebound. Strickland lasers a pass into Trent. Ori knocks it away. Pargo to Rush, who takes off and feeds to Kobe, who's pelted by Trent in a foul.
Good foul right there. Don't give him anything easy yet. Make him earn them.
Trent's got 3. Timberwolves running away with a 21-point lead right now. 10:34 to play. We got Kobe at the line. Here comes the lineup on TNT. New Orleans against Philly and Portland and Dallas. And on NBA TV, Game 2 tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Orlando at Detroit.
It was interesting on that play. Jackson fouled Kobe sort of hard. Kobe sort of tapped him on the head to let him know it was okay, and Jackson really didn't want any part of it. There's the pressure again. See, we didn't see any of this in the first half.
Jackson, Gill, Trent. Wow, couple nice Laker defensive plays. Jackson, 3 chances. They come up empty. Pargo a 3-on-3. Kicks it out to Rush for 3. Rebound Strickland. And a foul on Kobe Bryant. It is just not the Lakers' night.
No, well, you know, they got the rookies out there. They're playing hard. That ball wasn't even close, that 3-point shot.
Minnesota had an NBA best 46-3 record this year when leading after 3 or tying after 3. And of course, they lead going into the 4th quarter tonight.
Well, the one difference maker, as Danny has indicated, is Rod Strickland. I mean, you're talking about a veteran player who's not going to let you force him to play any faster than he wants to, and he's a great passer.
Oh, what a rejection by Robert Horry.
That's the 3rd shot that Horry has blocked the Jacksons.
Well, don't be afraid to make a basket.
Trent with the foul.
Right now, every time Kobe gets the ball, though, they're going to take it out of his hands. I mean, we saw it at the 3-point line at the hash mark. They ran and double-teamed him. With these guys out there, these energized guys, Minnesota doesn't care how many Pargo, Rush, or Mark Madsen shoot.
Garnett and Hudson will come back in. And Strickland will take a seat on the bench along with Gary Trent.
There's another trap on Kobe. Look, they have nothing when they go it in there.
Madsen.
One thing you have to give credit to T-Wolves.
Oh, Kobe Bryant nails a 3 and is fouled on the play.
As soon as I was ready to give him credit, the intensity has been consistent on the part of the T-Wolves. I thought that they maybe would start off in a flurry and then sort of cool out a little bit, but they've kept this intensity the whole game.
It is a 17-point game. Watch this shot. A paralyzing move by Bryant.
Chipping away at it.
Completes the 4-point play. Full court pressure, John, you're right. They didn't do it until the start of the 4th quarter. Hudson with the game high at 28. Donet's got 25 points. LA's on a 10-0 run right now.
And not only does the T-Wolves want to keep away, but they've got to also make sure that they still look for those scoring opportunities that they were getting earlier.
Kevin Garnett double team and somehow makes it work. Kevin Garnett's got 27 points.
Couldn't have been defended better by Ori and still nailed it.
Right, and we talked last night I was doing the game. Tim Duncan could shoot over the double team because his favorite shot is the jump hook from the right block. Garnett's favorite shot is the fadeaway, so the double team isn't as effective from that side.
Hudson to Sylviak, gonna travel.
And we see them coming down on the double team, but he wants to shoot the fadeaway baseline, so that double team doesn't even bother him. He just shoots it over one guy, but great defense by Ori. Spectacular shot by Garnett.
The Minnesota Timberwolves have designs on tying this best-of-7 Western Conference first-round series at a game apiece.
Everybody talks about what he does off the court. He better take some other people with him off the court if he's going to play like that when he's on the court.
He is smoking.
That was unreal. 55 points was sweet.
Kobe Bryant fading away over Gill. Rebound by Sylviak. Minnesota shooting 57%. Lakers 39% for the game.
And you heard Kobe say, all we want to do is chip away, chip away. These guys don't believe that they're out of this game yet.
Troy Hudson. Oh, he missed badly. Jackson. Rebound Robert Ory. Down court for Pargo. Here's Kobe, who is 8 of 25, and a foul on Sylviak at the other end. 8 of 25 for Kobe.
Well, we see Shaq running down to the scorer's table. He's ready to come back in. He's got plenty of rest.
Minnesota's only 11%. That's in the lead. Shaq is in the game.
All they have to shoot is about 30% from here on out. Probably be good enough.
Pargo misses a three. Sylviak has the rebound. But the Lakers take it right back. Minnesota is plus 12 in rebounding tonight. Kareem Rush. Shaquille O'Neal.
Second shots, Kevin. Second shots again. You got to touch somebody and keep them out of there.
Shaq's got the double-double, 20 points and 10 rebounds. Wolves have led by as many as 24. The Lakers have never led in this game.
You know, very quiet 20 points as well.
Sylviak. O'Neal with the rebound.
Those are hard shots to pass off. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, why is he shooting a three right now? But, man, when you're that open, 16-point lead, maybe you miss another one you think about it.
Shaq again in a foul. With Jackson right there.
And that's the one thing that you really have to respect Shaquille O'Neal for. I mean, those are really hard fouls in pulling him down. But he doesn't let himself get emotionally distracted for the most part and still keeps his composure and stays focused. And you got to like that about him because he is getting hit rather hard.
Well, Shaq is sure had an emotional week. Attending his grandfather's wake yesterday in South Carolina. His wife delivering their third child over the weekend. He's been traveling across the country. It has been a very, like we said, very emotional week for the great Shaquille O'Neal.
And that's tiring, too. It takes a lot out of you traveling across the country. You know, you talk about Shaq's free throw percentage. He's shooting 62%. And I don't know how many people realize this, but Chris Webber only shoots 60.
How about Mark Madsen? I mean, he's lower than Shaq.
He's lower than Shaq. And Walker, you know, Antoine Walker in Boston only shoots 61, and Gary Trent on this team only shoots 59.
So are you saying they pick on the big guys then, right? They notice their fault.
Listen, big guys shooting bricks.
Kevin Garnett's got 29 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 assists. Rush, big time three. Rebound Garnett.
The Lakers aren't able to capitalize on the guy that's coming back to help. Shaq's dumping it to that guy, and he's not hitting.
If Rush hits that three, it's a different ball game. Peeler. Rebound by O'Neal. Going to dribble up court like a guard. Pargo at the other end. And Bryant inside, diving into Shaq for two. And it's a 14-point deficit for the Lakers.
Beautiful pass by Kobe. Pull the defense and drop it and reward the big guy who cuts to the basket.
Should Minnesota be getting nervous?
They are getting nervous.
They got to make a basket. That's all they got to do. Get the ball to the big ticket. Now you lead your team right here.
Triple team. They crash into Garnett with a foul. Lakers on a 16-6 run.
When you look at this, Shaq and Kobe definitely haven't given up. You know, he penetrates and pitches it to Shaq. And don't forget what Kobe said coming out of the huddle. We can't use the profanity part, but in the same token, he said, let's chip away at it.
Kobe Bryant just picked up his 4th foul.
You know, that was a bad foul, too. Garnett was going to have to shoot a tough shot. You know, a little 4-footer overrunning guys at him outside the paint. You know, maybe Kobe needed a break, a rest.
Mark Jackson will leave. Rasho Nesterovic is in the game. Joining Gill, Hudson, Garnett, and Peeler. For the Lakers, O'Neal, Ori, Kobe Bryant, Pargo, and Kareem Rush. So the 2 rookies still on the floor for Los Angeles.
And, you know, most of Nesterovic's minutes have been on the court with Shaq. And how many times have we seen the guy that's defending Shaq get not very much production at the offensive end?
Here's O'Neal. Across the lane. Rebound Shaq. And a foul on Nesterovic.
You know, he almost pulled the Moses Malone on that one. I think he kind of set himself up for the second shot. When he threw that first one off the backboard at the basket, he went right after it very aggressively.
Kevin Garnett has put in 31 points for Minnesota. That ties a career playoff high. Time now for Budweiser's presentation of Danny Ainge's Caught My Eye.
Thanks, Kevin. Loving the playoffs. Thanks, catching my eye. Gutty performance by Spurs Danny Ferry. Steve Kerr may be next. There's no end to the pleasure Reggie Miller gives me. He is still the assassin. The Baron Davis injury is huge and one that won't get better anytime soon. You like the Kings? How about 108 points without Chris Webber for more than half the game? Tony Kukoc limping off after a gutty performance in Game 2.
There's a schedule coming up. Hornets and Sixers, Game 2. Also Game 2, Blazers at Dallas. And then a terrific Thursday tripleheader, including the Game 3 Minnesota Lakers playoff series as Shaq hits his first free throw. 5:55 to play. Lakers have never led. Wolves have been up by as many as 24. Shaq's got 25. Kobe's got 24. Kevin Garnett's got 31 as that second free throw is in. Troy Hudson has put in 28 for the Timberwolves, who are shooting 54%. Lakers are shooting 38% in this game.
And this is where the big ticket's got to earn his title right here. 31 points, 18 rebounds. He's done everything, but you got to just score a couple more baskets. Get your teammates some easy baskets.
Shaq right there. Shot clock at 3. Garnett for 3. He's already hit 1 tonight. Wolves have hit 5 threes. The Lakers have hit 6 3-point shots. It's into Shaq off balance. Nesterovic picks up his 5th foul.
Well, that was one of those, if Shaq makes it, they don't call a foul. When he misses it, they got to call it right here. There's guys all over Shaq right there. But Nesterovic, I don't think that was a foul. Hey, I've never seen Shaq flop.
I tell you, in the Timberwolves had better take heed to what Flip Saunders told them. Keep your focus defensively. Shaq ran down real quickly and set up, and they got it, dumped it into him real quick.
Shaquille O'Neal tonight as Nesterovic leaves and Mark Jackson comes back in the game. Anthony Peeler also checks in for the Timberwolves.
One thing that this is showing, Kevin, is that the T-Wolves are susceptible to be pressured too. You know, the Lakers waited a long time to pressure them, and then they put this smaller, more aggressive, younger lineup in. But it certainly does show that if they pressed them earlier, they could have gotten some better reactions out of it.
Shaq from the free throw line tonight, 7 of 9, and Kobe is also 7 of 9. They have taken the majority of the free throws for Los Angeles. Peeler for 3. Minnesota, very cold shooting 4th quarter. Another offensive rebound, though, that one authored by Peeler.
I watched the game that Minnesota played against Seattle just toward the end of the season, and their pressure destroyed Minnesota. Troy Hudson had 8 turnovers trying to beat the full court pressure. Like I said, he's not a real point guard. He's just a basketball player that loves to score.
Here's Serbia, a 2. And Minnesota is 2 of 15 shooting in this fourth quarter, and they're opening the door for the Lakers, who are down by 13. Kobe for 3. And a rebound by Peeler.
Well, that's the one thing that they're doing extremely well. The T-Wolves are hitting the boards, both the offensive and defensive boards, very aggressively. That's making up for some of the other shortcomings right now.
Screened by Garnett. Hudson's got 28. Alley-oop for Kevin Garnett. He was shoved, and a Laker foul.
That's a good call by the official out here right in front of us. You can see that easy. Pargo tried to do everything he could just by pushing Kevin underneath.
Pargo's got his 3rd for the Lakers.
Good read by Jackson, just throwing it up. Knows that Garnett's got a big advantage on the inside.
You know, I really think the tempo of this game has really broken down both of these teams a little bit.
Garnett. Guarded by Shaq, and hooks it over Shaquille O'Neal. And Kevin Garnett has a franchise playoff record 33 points.
33 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists. He doesn't do enough to help his team win.
Robert Horry for 3. Peeler with the rebound. Under 4 to play.
But just like any player out there, you need help from your teammates. And Shaq and Kobe got it in game 1 from Fox and Fisher. Tonight, Kevin Garnett's getting it from Hudson and Serbia.
And they're chanting MVP, MVP inside the Target Center tonight toward Kevin Garnett. Horry picks up his 5th foul.
Well, and you look at this basket with Kevin Garnett, the thing that I like about the basket that he took is that he did not do a lot of fading. He caught the ball in the post. Shaq was on him. He threw the little jump hook, which is basically a post shot, but he threw it with Shaq being close to him, which I think early in the game, that's one of the game plans that has to be to neutralize Shaq. Go at him, go aggressively at him, let him block some shots, don't get embarrassed by it, but have him pick up early free throws.
30 points for Hudson.
What a huge performance by Hudson.
Hudson with 30 points, 9 assists, both career playoff highs.
You know, the question is, can Hudson repeat it? And if they, you know, it's going to be unlikely that he's going to go for 30 again against the Lakers. And if you don't get the 30 from Hudson, where are the other points going to come from? Because Serbiak and Garnett and Hudson are pretty much maxed out tonight to get 100.
And I think you really have to give Flip Saunders a lot of credit for his game plan today. His team carried it out. They deserve credit, too, in terms of the pace of the game, the full court pressure to make the big guys come up to help and extend the Lakers' offense to full court.
Kevin Garnett. Oh, Shaq got out there, and Kevin got him on his heels, and Garnett again torches Shaquille O'Neal. 35 for Kevin Garnett. It's Pargo for 3. That's off the Timberwolves and out of bounds with 2:47 to play. Timeout, Los Angeles. It looks like we're going back to the West Coast, tied at 1. Kevin Garnett has put on a spectacular show.
Well, he just does everything. Right here, Robert Horry's guarding him. He takes him straight into the paint. Right there, stops before he has the charge. Beautiful alley-oop pass from Mark Jackson. Pump fakes again. He just seems like he's under so much control. He's getting the shots that he wants. But effective.
Yes. 2:47 to play. Devin George back in the game. Pargo launching a 3, caught by Kevin Garnett. Knocked away by Pargo and out of bounds. Minnesota's ball. Los Angeles in the fourth quarter, shooting tonight 23%. In game 1, they shot 60%.
You know, I don't think the Lakers, the way they're defending, I don't think they're too disappointed with Kevin Garnett's 35. I mean, Garnett does not get 30 that often. I think only the 10th time this year. But Troy Hudson going to the line now with a chance to get 32 points. And, you know, Coach, I asked you before, I mean, I don't know if they can score more than this. I mean, I don't know if they can repeat this offensive effort. I know they can come out and play the same kind of defense they did tonight, but they were spectacular both ends of the court.
Well, and the one thing we have to keep in mind, and it looks as if the T-Wolves will win this game, but the Lakers did what they came here for. They got the home court advantage. They're getting ready to go home, and the people are yelling MVP, and that's just going to give Kobe and Shaq more motivation also. The Lakers aren't in bad shape at all.
Mark Madsen slams at the other end. The Lakers refuse to roll over with 2:32 to play. Jackson picks up the foul. He's got 4.
Madsen looks like he's been playing in Minnesota with that. He doesn't have an LA tan, does he? He's been hanging out with Jeff Van Gundy. That's why you got to love Madsen. He's been in the gym working on his game.
Tell you what, the Lakers don't have any quit in them. They're still extending that full court pressure. I would love to have seen what would have happened if they had gone to this a lot earlier.
Sometimes, John, you got to manufacture something.
Well, that's exactly right. Change for the sake of change, and particularly when things are just going bad. What Phil has done is he's taken out some of his starters and put younger and quicker guys in. The only problem is that Rush and Pargo missed those key shots later in the game when they had an opportunity to really turn this thing to small digits.
Hudson at the free throw line for the Timberwolves. Flip Saunders, the Minnesota coach, said that if we can keep Shaq and Kobe combined to 60 points or less, we'll have a great chance. Tonight combined 51.
You know, what a great job Kevin McHale did in signing Troy Hudson as well, losing Chauncey Billups in free agency and getting Troy Hudson.
It's Kobe for 3. And Bryant now with 27 to match Shaq's 27 points. Garnett. That's got 35 and draped with Laker defenders. Jackson has it and down the lane. 2 minutes remaining. Pargo. Devin George for 3. Caught by Jackson. Saves it. It's off to Hudson. Minnesota's got numbers. Serbiak on the drive. Fouled by Pargo. Counted for 2. And then he and Devin George have a little shoving match on that baseline.
I tell you what, in the first 2 games, whoever set the tone in the first quarter came away victorious. Game 1, Lakers dominated, were so confident, executed their game plan with a little bit of uncertainty in Minnesota. There was no uncertainty in Minnesota tonight. They knew exactly what they needed to do.
Well, the thing that you've got to be very impressed with them with is the fact that they sustained it throughout the whole game. A lot of times you see high-energy games early in the game, and then it deflates a little bit, and teams don't play as hard. But these guys have sustained this both offensively and defensively the whole game. Flip Saunders deserves a lot of credit for his game plan for this game. I think he did one heck of a job of pulling the Lakers offense out.
And the big 3, Garnett, Hudson, and Wally Serbiak. A 3 by Kobe. That's got 35, Hudson 34, Serbiak 21. They have scored 90 of Minnesota's 111 points tonight.
This man with the ball deserves a lot of credit also. But can he play?
Well, they did a great job on Kobe Bryant. I mean, Kobe got 28 shots, 27 points. Look at that.
Troy Hudson has put in 37 points. That is a game high. Pargo. And a rebound by Mark Jackson out to Peeler.
So much about shooting before a game. Pargo was out here really practicing. He can't buy a basket.
Medvedenko in for the Lakers in the final 60 seconds of the game.
Come on, everybody wants to see Hudson get 40.
Garnett to Jackson. Hacked in foul with 49 seconds to play. 37 by Hudson is a Timberwolves franchise playoff high. Hudson, Serbiak will leave, and they got the performance that they needed from those 2 players tonight. And Kevin Garnett will leave as well. Garnett 35 and 20.
Rod Strickland almost came all the way to half court to congratulate Hudson. And that's what you need a veteran player for, too, to encourage a guy who's out there and give what you can emotionally for him.
Lauren Woods will check in now for Anthony Peeler. Peeler tonight finishes with 5 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Lauren Woods needs to pull his pants up. He might get some more playing time.
The guys, what are we going to look for? What are we going to look for in Game 3 coming up on Thursday?
Well, you know, you just wonder if the Minnesota can maintain this offensive effort. If they do, obviously it'll be a series. You know, you have a hard time believing Troy Hudson had the game of his entire life. Can he repeat it? You know Garnett's going to get his numbers. Serbiak had a nice game, but Troy Hudson was obviously the difference.
And you got to expect the Lakers to prepare themselves for the full-court pressure because that had an effect on them. They wouldn't let them settle back and really concentrate on getting the shot.
That's a 3-point hit by rookie Mike Wilkes, who comes from the National Basketball Developmental League. And he was a signee back in February and a rookie out of Rice. Kareem Rush. That's it. The series is tied at 1 win apiece. And we'll see you in Los Angeles on Thursday. Our Gatorade player of the game is Kevin Garnett. A terrific performance by Garnett as the Timberwolves shoot a franchise playoff record 55% from the field.